Hello, 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 everyone. My name is San, and I will be joined by David in just a moment. And we are the Reel Insufferable Podcast, a podcast about film and television and all the news that is happening within the film world. And we talk about new movies, old movies, we go on tangents, we do the whole thing. In this episode, we talk about Die My Love, which is the new Lynne Ramsay film starring Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. And then we move on to a story that is developing as time goes on, which is the sale of Warner Brothers. It looks like either Netflix or Paramount is going to swallow up Warner Brothers for good. And this isn't like previous times or other times where a movie studio is bought by another company. This is for the express purpose of monopolizing the entertainment industry. And we will go over a lot of the reasons why this is bad in future episodes. We lightly touch on things in this episode, but this is a story that's ongoing, so we will be talking about it in future episodes. Its effects will supersede the initial story of it being bought. And it will affect the way that films are made. It will affect the amount of films that are made. It's going to affect a lot of things. Just for the long story short of it, Paramount is owned by David Ellison, who is the son of Larry Ellison, who is one of the richest men on earth. He owns an AI company, and he's very closely linked to the current presidential administration. And they have a goal of monopolizing the entertainment industry. David Ellison owned a film studio called Skydance, which is now the parent company of Paramount. They recently acquired Paramount a couple of months ago, and now they're already moving on to Warner Brothers. This is accelerating very quickly, and it should scare you. If you like movies, I mean, you're listening to this podcast, so of course you do. So this is a very scary prospect. The other side of this coin is that Warner Brothers gets bought by Netflix, and Netflix is a film studio. Well, it's not really a film studio. It's more like a tech company, and they, as you know, do not really like movie theaters. They are antagonistic toward movie theaters. Every filmmaker that gets a movie theater distribution deal with them, they only allow the film in theaters for like 2 weeks, and it's a very limited, scarce run. So they actively despise movie theaters. So the prospect of Netflix buying Warner Brothers is also very bad. So we will get into this more and more as time goes on. I'm just sparing you all of the nitty-gritty. I just wanted you to have a quick understanding of what the deal is. From there, we move on to the other story that's just taking over, which is Christy, a film starring Sydney Sweeney, which is undergoing one of the most historic box office bombs of all time. And we talk about that and the context and all of that. So that was a pretty interesting conversation between David and I. And we wrap up by talking about a few trailers that have come out recently, which are films that are very highly anticipated, including the new Michael Jackson biopic, which everyone is anticipating, and it will definitely generate a lot of discourse once it's released for all of the same reasons why Michael Jackson himself generated a lot of discourse. So without any further ado, enjoy the episode. What have you been watching recently?
I mean, most recently, Monday, I watched Die My Love.
Oh, you did.
I did. And
Did you like it? What'd you think about it?
it was a good movie, but it's definitely not one that I would rush to see again. Basically, it's a very artsy and intense interpretation of postpartum depression. So, yeah, that kind of subject matter I don't run to. I guess this depends on who you are, really. I found it artistic and not disturbing, really. All of the harsh choices or any of the scary notions, it just seemed like, yeah, this is just a take on this common thing. I thought Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence did a good job with chemistry and all that. The arguments were pretty ugly and visceral at times, and the imagery was quite awesome. There's exposition, and then there's visual exposition where it's just like you have to pay attention to what's being shown. And with what's being shown, you understand a lot of the relationship, which I thought was really nice. Like you didn't have to, 'cause the movie doesn't explain how they met. It doesn't explain. It just explains this moment in both their lives. So it's visually a lot of the times telling you what this how this couple interacts, how this couple lives together. There is some exposition from external characters and themselves talking, but it's not like an expository scene like you can see in some movies where that's the purpose of the scene. It's a much more creative way of doing it. So that was really good. The storytelling is solid if you're paying attention, which is a movie you have to pay attention, which I believe every movie you have to pay attention, but audience members will
Hey, ask
differ on what's
Netflix.
important. Yeah, when I have people over at my house, I'm the friend that has a problem with people on their phone while we're watching a movie because it's like, you wouldn't do this in the theater, would
Yeah.
you? You you're not a piece of shit there. Why are you being a piece of shit next to me in my own home?
And
You
people are
know,
a piece of
it's like
shits in both.
right. I mean, most of the time, the experience you have in the movie theaters, like dollars to donuts, that'll be a couple of people that think that this is their own environment and they can do whatever they want, which is very rude and stupid. You know, they don't respect Nicole Kidman, and
Fucked
the
up.
very gravelly guy talking about silencing your phones. It's not for fun that they do that. It's because shut the fuck up. This is a communal experience. That being said, so is in my house. If we're watching a movie, we're there to watch a movie, not to just chit chat and be on the phone. It's like no, we're here to focus for 2 hours.
I feel like once you know the plot, your brain, because you've seen a movie before, you're
Then you
just
can
gonna
start
make the
scrolling.
yeah,
Once you know the plot,
you're gonna
you can
make the
start
leap
scrolling.
in your head. So you're like, a lot of the times, even when you've seen a film that doesn't give away all the plot points, or they give
Mhm.
enough for like the first half of the movie, like, okay, well, I know where this is going. It's gonna be either this or this.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
But also you personally, like me or a lot of folks that are cinephiles or just really like movies, they go into something a lot of the times knowing either like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see this filmmaker's movie. I'm gonna go see this actor's movie. I'm gonna go see something specific."
Yeah.
Like
So
that's I think the minority of the minority of people that go like, "I wanna see a good story. I don't care about whatever it is." That's the people that don't care where they watch it.
yeah, yeah. Those are
Like
TV
like
watchers.
a good story, a good movie, a good, like, premise or whatever, they don't really care, in my opinion, they don't care as much where they see it as long as they get to see or hear that story, like, they don't care about the theater experience, they don't they're just like, "Just give me the story, I don't need people next to me, in front of me, behind me, talking, chewing, texting."
Yeah, they don't give a shit. They're on the
Uh,
subway watching it on their phone on their way from work.
right, if it's good storytelling, that's all they care about, which I respect.
Yeah.
But to just go in and go in with no information and be wowed is a wonderful thing. It is always surprising that most people get trailers over trailers over trailers. They know exactly what they're getting into. They pay all the money or their membership for the monthly to view this movie, and then they can't shut the fuck up and turn off their phones. And it's like all this investment, they're buying snacks, like they're making this whole deal of their day, and then they're gonna fucking talk like in their fucking living room?
I think
Yeah.
partially people are just afraid to submit to something, like to just
Mhm.
give over control, like pushing
Like
that
enjoying
tendency.
silence?
Yeah, just purposefully pushing that tendency away and just like letting something wash over you. I think is also just a scary prospect because we don't have a lot of control in our lives
You can just shut up. It's really nice to just shut up and listen.
as we're doing right now. Which is a good segue for our next segment, where we're not settling in the moment. We're moving on to the next thing.
Right.
Um, there is a big thing that is happening that will be
Mhm.
happening for probably the next couple of years, and
Yeah.
that is the fact that Warner Brothers is up for sale. I guess. Well, they haven't like put it out there, but there have been reports that they are
Everyone
hearing.
else has.
Yes, everyone else has been like, "I wanna buy Warner Brothers. No, I wanna buy Warner Brothers." So there's been a little, back and forth.
My fear about Paramount or all these people just owning everything in the movie industry and then having a say is a problem where, again, going back to talking about how eager I am when Warner Brothers does a movie, Dollars to Donuts, it's gonna be a solid movie. and it's gonna have because it has uh, a lot of the times I feel I from what I've seen, Warner Brothers lets filmmakers do the movies they want to do, and they back them up
Yeah.
100%. So that's up in the air. That legitimacy of what they do as a movie house is up in the air. On the other, like DC Comics is to me still cool because they really have the budget and the tastemakers to like put out good stories, good comic books. They take the time, I feel, more than Marvel in their publishing to like, oh no, this is really good stuff. Check this out. This is really good stuff. And I think James Gunn is trying to do the same thing as DC comic books in terms of like DC movies, is like having good taste and just putting out things. And I think that's up for, that's in danger as well. Like having control over this comic book company again takes away from what fun it is to have, a writer's freedom to tell the stories that he wants and have the fans of these characters in mind and not just the profit. That's what I'm afraid of. If
Yeah.
DC becomes part of Paramount, I'm afraid that I have to keep my comic books because that's the only physical proof of how these stories are really supposed to be, is
Yeah.
my fear. Like if they change Superman to make it more in the eyes of what Paramount thinks Superman should be, that's a big problem for
Yeah.
me,
I think so too.
you know?
I think the fear is if you actually read DC Comics and read, Absolute Batman recently, I don't think David Ellison, if he owned DC Comics, would be like, yeah, I think it's cool that Batman broke a white supremacist arm for doing the Sig Heil, Like that was really cool when Batman did that. And
Very.
I don't know if the Ellisons think that's cool, just based on who they're friends with and who they suck up to. I think it is gonna happen, unfortunately,
Mhm.
because of the rules and how they work. If there is a bid out there and the shareholders want it to boost their value, it's like illegal for the company to like not do it. Or it's like
Mhm.
there's it because that kind of happened with Elon buying Twitter, where he was like, I'm gonna buy Twitter for 44 billion, and then they were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And he was like, wait, no, I don't have that. I don't have it. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And then he was forced into buying it. I don't think that this will I don't think that it will be stopped. I do think that the Ellisons do want movie theaters. Like they are proponents of them. They're putting their money where their mouth is in terms
Mhm.
of signing filmmakers to make films that go into theaters and all that. That's great. Good. You could just do that with Paramount though. Just stay there. It unfortunately we're picking our poison. We're picking people who want movie theaters to survive, but they also want to own and massage every narrative and make sure that you only get media from one place and don't have a fucking say. And they're also extremely pro AI, which is insane. And then your other choice is people who actively despise the idea of movie theaters in general with
Right.
Netflix. So we're stuck between you're fucked and you're fucked. And it's like so shitty.
It is. The movie industry has been changing for like decades now, and it's getting just more. The changes are more aggressive and faster because technology, the technology of convenience has moved way faster than like redirecting the idea of what the movie theater can be and like trying to make it more accessible to everyone because it's still, yes, movie theaters are everywhere. In the big cities it's an investment to go to the movies, and then everywhere else it's cheaper to do streaming when you're in a family of 3 or 4, as it's like, "Oh, we can go to the $10 a pop movie or my $15 membership, we can all watch something at home, cook dinner, and we can be very comfortable and not have to worry and just get a big ass TV or projector." Like, the convenience of movies at home has, of course, detracted from going to theaters, but hating on it is a bit much because it's still, I think, a really fun communal experience that is needed, and taking away the community is kinda like what's been the fight. in
Yeah.
my eyes.
I still think about that screening that we went to for Ready or Not, where the theater was packed
Mm,
and everyone was just in it. And we were all
yeah.
laughing and we were all scared and we were all at the edge of our seat. And by the end, everyone just had a great time. I don't even remember a phone being out. I remember everyone just being excited to watch it and it just being fun. It was just
Yeah.
it helped that it was a great movie, but
Yeah.
like everyone like was genuinely invested in it and you could feel it. And everyone responded to the film as it was happening, but it wasn't in an annoying way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like when I saw Hereditary and people were
Mhm.
just laughing because they were scared and they didn't want to actually feel anything and they were just trying to
Didn't know what
punish
to
the
do with their
audience.
feelings.
But yeah, they
Right.
didn't know what to do with their feelings. But with Ready or Not, everyone was just like just accepting of what the experience was,
Mhm.
and that was really special. A film that did not have that experience at all is
Mhm.
the latest film by Sydney Sweeney, Christy,
Ah, yes.
which was out in over 2,000 theaters and made only like $1.2 million, which for a wide release film is pretty historic. There's only a few films that haven't that
Mhm.
have done that bad or worse.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know what I guess your input would be on this, but I just have a lot of feelings about this particular story. For those of you who don't know who Sydney Sweeney is, I'm just gonna give
Yeah.
you a quick like rundown. She is an actor who blew up
Mhm.
on Euphoria. She had been in stuff prior, but like Euphoria was her big breakout as well, you know, as every other person on the cast. Even Zendaya, who was like huge, like she was in Spider-Man and shit, but like Euphoria really like boosted her stock as a dramatic
Yeah,
actor.
yeah. I mean,
Zendaya won
Jacob
the
Elordi.
Emmy. Yeah, Jacob Elordi, who's in
Uh,
Frankenstein and in Wuthering
mhm.
Heights, that's coming out with Margot Robbie in February. You know, every actor pretty much from that show has got a boost. And
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney was one of those. She was in the first season of White Lotus. So she did a Hot Ones interview, and someone grabbed a screenshot of her looking up, and it became this meme on Twitter, which is now owned by Elon Musk. And the Elon Muskification of Twitter has turned Twitter into a farm for advertising, Nazis, and porn and white supremacy,
What
which is
was
like
it
a
before
weird.
he bought it?
It was more of a balanced place where if you were like, "Oh, I'm a Hitler fan,"
I
no,
wouldn't say balanced.
it was more balanced. If you go on Twitter now, I like you have to acknowledge that Twitter is just different now. Like it is just there's so much rage bait, the click farming posts, like it is
It was
constant.
always a zoo to me, though.
It
Anyways,
is.
I'm
I
not
mean,
saying it was better or worse. It was always bad for me. To me,
I mean,
Twitter was
social
always
media. It's
bad.
social media at the end of the
Yeah,
day. But I
right.
think,
But that one
um,
specifically, it sounded like a blowhorn for anyone, even people that you don't need to listen to and should rightfully be quiet.
that's true. Yes. I mean, that's just the product of social media, I think. But like the way that Twitter was fun still. Like there was a funness
Mm,
to Twitter. Like there are certain moments that I remember from being on Twitter that I was like, wow, social media can be fun. Like the day Trump got COVID. Everyone like the memes, the posts, the everything. There were a lot of moments where Twitter was fun. The Fire Fest, like,
right.
yeah, so many great days on Twitter. But Twitter now is just not what it used to be. And this picture of her just went viral, and they were like, this is beauty or whatever. And so she gained this audience of men who are just like not really interested in her talent, but more interested in like what she looks like. They see her
Right.
more as a model than like as an
Right.
actor or an artist. And she is a good actor. If you've watched Euphoria, like you know.
She's the poster child of female beauty in the United States, like 100%. Like she's the obsession.
Yeah, she is the
She's a
obsession amongst men. So she got a lot of fame off that, and that like boosted her profile too, like just a meme. Like it's weird how like a meme can do that for
oh,
you. But then I guess she like leaned into this. I guess she's leaned into this, and it culminated in this American Eagle ad that went crazy
right.
bananas, where the tagline was like, Sydney Sweeney's got great jeans, and it was like a
Right.
double
Play on
entendre
words.
about
Right.
her, the jeans that she's wearing, but also the fact that she's pretty.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
And everyone rightfully was like, hey, is this like eugenics? Are we doing eugenics, American Eagle? What's going on? This is weird. And Sydney Sweeney didn't respond to it. And she was eventually interviewed like about a week or two ago about it. You think companies should be promoting any white supremacy like as their tagline, like in any way, like for advertising? And she could have just said no, because that's the obvious answer, but she was stubborn and decided not to say anything.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. Do you have?
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
In your opinion, is it a bad campaign if it was Beyonce and they said Beyonce's got great jeans? It's still the same joke.
I think the connotation is different because
Right, because it's visual.
yeah, I think
Completely visual. But is that the message that American Eagle was going for? I don't know.
I don't know, but
Again,
I do
it's
think
like-
I do think it was considered though, because there's no way a whole marketing team like went through this whole thing and was like,
True.
how
I'm looking at it through the personal eye where I would be that's a comment I would say. Me personally, I would say, well, she's got great genes, because I'm talking about obviously what she looks like.
if they weren't trying to potentially rage bait the public, like if they just did other, not just Sydney Sweeney, but like other models, other actors, whoever, all different types
was
of
just
backgrounds.
her?
It was just her. To my knowledge, it was just her.
Okay.
So if it was like Naomi Campbell or Ana de Armas or Viola Davis, whoever, Zendaya, yeah, whoever, if they just did anybody else as well, it'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. Like you can see it, but like it could be like inclusive or whatever. This would have been the campaign in 2017, 2016, like peak woke, right? But I feel like a lot of advertising in general has just been very rage baity, like just trying to get the conversation, because that conversation is more cost effective than you putting money on a billboard, right? So
Right.
I think they considered,
Actual press.
yeah, I think they considered how provocative this advertising would have been, and they just leaned into it because they got more play on it, and it's cheaper to do it that way. But so she's had a lot of eyeballs on her for negative reasons, and she like fumbled this one simple question, and this was right before Christy came out, and no one saw it. And I feel like this is not the only aspect of it. I do have a lot to say about this, but this is not the only aspect of why it bombed. But I do think like people, like actors, are just human beings. They are as fallible as any of us, and they are also like as online as we are. And I feel like sometimes people need to be reminded that Twitter, or even just social media in general, is not real life. Like it's just not. Whatever the shit that you're seeing online is not how people behave in real life. And I feel like some actors really like, they see the clicks, they see the dopamine hit, and they think that this is reality and they can lean into this. But it's just not. People will see you doing weird shit and they'll be like, oh, you're weird. What are you doing? So yeah, that's one part of it. And then the other part of it is that I think Christy bombed because, or that it's bombing, is because the audience that she has captivated does not give a flying fuck about women's sports. Because it's about a female boxer who is lesbian and also is overcoming domestic violence.
Right.
The audience that she's cultivated over the last like year and a half not give a fuck about any of these things.
What about the audience that she has from Euphoria? Is that not a strong audience?
I don't even know who the audience for Euphoria is anymore.
Me personally, I don't care about seeing Christy because it doesn't look like anything original.
That's
True story about an athlete that's going through adversity, and it's a female one who is getting abused, which is again a sad but true reality. But it wasn't promoted as heavily as like The Smashing Machine,
That's
which is
true.
another true story of a fighter overcoming adversity
And domestic
married
violence.
by domestic violence. Yeah, you're right. Uh, Funny enough, you're right. Yeah. So, and that one was an underwhelming movie. A lot of good moments as well, but that one got more press because The Rock didn't say anything dumb, I guess.
Well, it got pressed because he was actually good in it. Like,
True.
he was actually good in it, and people were like, Oscar, Oscar, Oscar,
Mhm.
right? Maybe. And then I guess people forgot about Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. And then Leo came out and he was like, no, this is acting, actually. I'm on the phone yelling. Like, yeah. Give me
Here's
the
my buddy
Oscar.
Sean.
And here's my buddy Sean with this fucking walk that he has over here.
Yeah. Look at him move. Look at him move. Look at him move.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that little strut that he's got.
But also like Sydney Sweeney has cultivated fans in the rom-com circle. She
Yeah.
did the Madame Web movie, which was from what I've read, a tactic, which is not the first time any actor has done that.
Yeah,
Like,
one for
that's
me,
just-
one for you.
That's a move. Fucking Scorsese's done that. White Lotus, her TV stuff is good examples of her talent. Like you see that happening, and then everything else has been like just hindering on the fact that she looks that way. Is what I can get off everything that's what little I know about Sydney Sweeney is like her looks are getting her very far, and she's aware of it because she's not a dummy.
I think that the team who cast her failed her as well. Like it was a failure on both sides because like I think that this could have gone to an actor who is in that demographic, like that could have sold this and would have attracted that actual audience that maybe would have watched a film like that.
You could have gone the actor from Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, Katie O'Brien.
Could have gotten Katie O'Brien to do that role, and it would have probably gotten less press, but it would have maybe been the movie, I guess,
That
more popular pick.
Yeah, it might have been the
would
movie
find
that
its
group
audience.
would have wanted to see. Yeah.
This is my opinion, was just like, you know, there's castings where people you have to be casting accurately. It's like, yes, but you can also just cast a good actor.
Yeah.
Like, good actors, there's a reason there's good actors.
I mean,
You know.
I maintain the belief. I hate it when people like look at an actor, even if they don't have an Oscar, even if they've never been like, you know, nominated, anything like that. If they're in just schlock, they are not bad actors. You can't get to that level and be that. I mean, Gal Gadot is the only exception, but like
Jai Courtney's still working.
Yeah, but Jai Courtney, when he's given something, he has charisma. Like you have to fit these people in the slot that they can do. Some people are more versatile than others. Some directors give them bad direction. The editor can pick the wrong take. Like they can see something in a bad take that maybe
Works.
someone else, that works, but it doesn't work. Like it's so subjective. There's so many things that get in the way of a performance on film. And I just don't subscribe to the belief that most actors or like a lot of actors, when they are in a lot of bullshit, are bad actors. I just don't believe it. I just don't. I don't think Sydney Sweeney's a bad actor at all. She's been in some good stuff and some bad stuff, but I think like even that movie, the one that's like it's supposed to be in real time and she's being investigated. It came out on Max.
Oh, that yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I can act. Look at me. Look, it's just me."
Yeah. But she's proven it. And it's just, but she's also proven that her celebrity is not because of her acting. It's clear as day, and the industry is very aware of what she looks like, and is always, you know, hence the Good Genes campaign. Like we can't be blind to the fact it's because of her beauty that she's gotten this much attention, and yet is still trying to prove that she's a good actor, because that's second to the world right now. Her talent is second.
Yeah, it's kind of tragic in a way. It's kind of sad. But and then I remember this article from like an interview that she did a while ago where she talked at length about the costs of being being an actor, and like all the people that she has to give money to, like the managers and the
team.
agents, her team. and like all of these commercials and ads that she does like incessantly is to pay off that so she can be an actor. I whenever all of this stuff that I set up was going down, that was the thing that was in my head the whole time. Cuz like
The economics of it?
yeah, the economics of it. I mean it's I feel like that's everything for someone who doesn't have like back in the day when you were a big star and you'd have like box office success and you can ring your hat on that. You didn't have to do commercials because the commercials were for actors who couldn't get film work. Like actors who were not up there anymore, they would do like a phone commercial and you're like, "Oh, there's that guy that I saw in movies 10 years ago."
Mm-hmm.
But now like, you got Matt Damon doing crypto.com commercial in the
And
Super
the
Bowl.
Odyssey.
And he's in the Odyssey and he's in Oppenheimer and all that shit. So it's like it's just it's a fucked up state of affairs in general. That I feel like that's just like the theme of everything that we've talked about so far.
You're right. You're right. It's the same thing, but it's always been the same thing in that regard. Like Sydney Sweeney's box office bomb and her having such a smash career based on her looks is absolutely nothing new. This is just 2025's version of the same thing that happens in the industry where it's just like a woman's looks are going to be first and foremost, and right now she is the American girl, and there's nothing new about who Sydney Sweeney is right now in the industry. Like there's nothing new. How she's going about it is what's different, and how people are picking it apart is different because how she's going about it is different. Maybe it's just a cookie cutter biopic. Maybe it's as good as Bohemian Rhapsody in terms of a biopic, which is not a good biopic in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it could be that interesting, and maybe that's the issue. And then the guff is more than the actual movie.
So I want to do some rapid fire really quick
Copy.
on 3 trailers that have come out before we close. We got the Michael Jackson biopic trailer finally dropped, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who has made some good movies, but I also think he's like a 5 out of 10 machine. I think a lot of his movies look really good. Like The Guilty. Did you see that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No. You told me to watch it.
Yeah, it was okay. Jake Gyllenhaal, acting up a storm. Like the film itself is fine, but it does look really good. Like the visuals, it's very polished. It's very gorgeous. They did it under COVID, and you can't even tell. It's great. But yeah, I haven't seen like a whole lot of films from Antoine Fuqua that I've been like, wowed by. What did you think of the trailer? Did you watch it?
I did watch it, and it didn't. It looked like a biopic. It didn't look like anything special. It definitely looked like it's gonna look slick and clean, like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more Bohemian Rhapsody than Rocket Man. Is my jump to conclusions opinion on what I've seen, because I'm like, well, Rocket Man, even though it had the estate and our actual artist was alive and had a say in that movie is not biased in my opinion. Or if it is biased, it's biased in the most wonderful way, because it shows an even keel point of view of the lifestyle and the artist, where I don't think they'll take those risks with this one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, the trailer didn't excite me. I thought, it excited my monkey brain when I saw the things that I knew, when I saw the recreations of those moments.
Right.
I'm like, oh, wow, this is really well polished. There was a lot of attention to detail to recreate these moments. And a lot of my friends were excited about the movie, but I was confused because, there was no substance in the trailer. It was just these moments. And it's supposed to get you excited. It's an ad. It's an ad at the end of the day.
Montage. It was montage.
Yeah, and there is like a clear mythologizing that's there, which I do appreciate. Like for any biopic, you have to feel like the person is larger than life. I feel like they accomplished that with the trailer, but there was no substance. And I feel like there will be a trailer, and then that will be the test, because you have to see this guy act. You have to see what the presentation and like what we're really focusing on, And that matters. Like that's like the difference between like a film like A Complete Unknown and a film like Jackie and
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. Where you don't Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't show the strengths of the artist or the band. Like
It's a
cookie
mess.
cuts that idea. Whereas like Rocket Man, it's an interpretation of the genius. Steve Jobs
Danny
by
Boyle.
what's his name? By Danny Boyle is sort of that. Where it's just like you just see what made the artist or the person important or tick without it being a biography.
My favorite thing about Steve Jobs is that it doesn't pretend to be true.
Right.
It's an
not,
interpretation. Like that is the whole point of that movie. And you compare it to the Ashton Kutcher Jobs, where it's like we're trying to, we're doing that. That was a good little shape you did. That was pretty good. Gave him a little dress, like a little skirt,
right.
A little
Sorry,
cape.
we're like, this is supposed to be rapid fire.
Yeah. Hey, rapid fire for two Puerto Ricans who can't shut the fuck up over here, who got a podcast because they like hanging out and whatever. So the next one is Toy Story 5. Dude, what the fuck? I don't know. Like, okay, quick.
It's a logical premise for the IP.
But they could have done that in Toy Story 4.
They could have just not done that.
They could have just not done that. Yeah, because here's my Toy Story take. I'm gonna live and die by this. Toy Story 2 is the movie that they've been making over and over again. Toy Story 3 is Toy Story 2, but with a perfect ending, right?
With an ending.
Yes, with an ending. Because Lotso is Stinky Pete. Their grievances are practically the same, except that Lotso, we actually see it unfold. And Toy Story 4, the doll has very similar grievances. The aesthetics are more, gorgeous and detailed or whatever.
Antique store instead of a toy store.
And then the ending of Toy Story 4 is the ending of Toy Story 3, but with the role reversal. And it's that same moment. It's not literally the same, but emotionally, it's the same moment. You're just rehashing that emotion again. And then in Toy Story 5, with this teaser, we're doing something that could have just been Toy Story 4 if you were going to do that. iPad Kid thing was already in full swing in 2019. We didn't need this antique bullshit. We didn't need that. Again, everything is rage bait. They rage baited by showing Woody and Buzz together again, even though the end of Toy Story 4 contradicts what we just watched in that teaser, which could have just been for the teaser, and they do a whole story that's about them, coming back or whatever.
Maybe those inserts are just for the teaser.
But that in itself is rage bait. I feel rage baited, and I'm taking the bait. I'm hook, line, and sinker on the bait. I'm like, this is bullshit. I hate this. But you're not as invested in Toy Story, right? Because
not anymore. No, it ended for me in 3. For me, it ended in 3, and 4 was just a good-looking movie, rehashing a few things. Visually, it's fantastic, but totally forgettable. With 3, it ended really well. Like, I thought the story from the first movie ended in 3 very well.
All right, last one, Super Mario Galaxy.
I think the Mario movie was fan service for 80 minutes. That being said, I love Mario. But it was definitely like no stakes, very safe, nothing new. It was just like, hey, remember Mario? Here's more of that. You remember that? Okay, good. Credits. Now that we've shown you that, here's an idea of a Mario movie where we're gonna take 3 aspects of the lore and make another 90-minute movie. Now that we've teased who these people are for 90 minutes 3 years ago, here's a movie.
And another $1.5 billion.
What they pulled from lore was really fun to watch, like to see it. I was like, oh, cool. That looks cool. Illumination kills it visually.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. Their animation used to suck ass. Like, just look terrible. Like, not just the lighting, but just like the way that the characters like look and feel. But I watched this new trailer and I was like, wow, goddamn. The contrast, the highlights, like everything. Yeah. Like it's visually like very.
It looks slick as hell. Like, it looks very pretty. Is it going to be a good movie? It's probably going to be a great kids movie. They have kids
Yeah.
They have the kids market more, where Pixar is going for everyone. They always kill it. It was like kids fucking love this studio.
And then they added Brie Larson as Rosalina and Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr. Very interesting casting.
That's funny.
This fucking guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
fun.
They
That's
saw
a
him in
fun
Good
casting.
Time, and they were like, "This guy, he needs to be in everything. He needs to be everywhere."
Give him an acting career. Hey, good for him, dude. I really enjoyed him in Oppenheimer.
I want to end this by, I don't know how feasible this will be, but I want to challenge you to a game.
Okay.
A movie trivia game. It's something that I have been obsessed with.
Should end it before the bored people die.
No, I'll cut this out. There's a game that I've been obsessed with called Cine 2 Nerdle. I don't know if you've heard of this game. It's a trivia game that you play online, and basically you enter a film and you have to guess, or you have to enter a film that someone who worked on it has been in. It's like the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but it's for everything. So if you can if you know that Danny Elfman scored this other film, you can use him as a connection to another film. You only use the same connection 3 times.
Okay.
Like
Let's
you
do
can
an example run.
Okay. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna send it to you.
Have to make a profile. This is a fun thing to do on a show.
Yeah.
Let's do this now.
Yeah. Maybe we can do
As
this
we're
next time.
signing off.
Yeah, we can do this
Let's
next time.
register.
We'll set this up next time. It's fine. It's fine. I got a little bit too ambitious.
I am down to playing games at the end of the show. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we should do it. I think because we can test movie trivia and we can show off how fucking annoying we are. That would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that. We can,
in case this last 90 minutes didn't show that.
Yeah. We'll do that on episode 2 on the next one. I don't know how do you end this, David? I don't know.
I don't know. It's really been interesting to see what this is. This is sort of like a catching up with the things that we love. I think we can come up with a trademark sign off at the end of every episode, whatever that is. I don't think we don't need to decide this now.
We don't have
We're
to.
in the pressure of ending this.
I just don't know how to end things.
So then let's just say this was a good first step. We're going to come back and do another one, and we'll figure this out as we go along. Just bear with us, guys. Yeah, if anybody listens to this before we publish the second episode, give us a holler and tell us how we should end this. Because for now, this is it.
Goodbye.
We'll be back. Bye.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
I got tracked by Apple. Holy fuck. Okay.